Hey, welcome back, everybody. It's time once again for another episode of OC Spotlight, as we showcase the most incredible people doing the most amazing things right here in our backyard. And today, well, I'll tell you, you didn't know when you woke up this morning here, but the world has changed. There is a conference taking place here at UCI's Beall Applied Innovation Center, and I really feel like, oh my God, the future is here today. And one of those futurists is going to join us here today, fresh from her appearance at that conference. The conference is called the Klotho Conference, and I'm just going to back up for a second for anybody who doesn't know what that is, because I didn't know what that was. It's a protein. We're going to talk more about it. That seems it's been discovered 20 years ago and researched in clinical trials and all sorts of stuff. But now it's starting to be used or investigated to be used for a variety of things: killing cancer, growing hair, recovering from traumatic brain injuries, and the topic here today, skincare. So welcome, Dr. Gail Humble from Klotho Skin. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Paul.
You've been in this field longer than just about anybody. I'm not trying to put us of a certain age here, but you've been doing this for a while. Why did you discover Klotho, and what is it? You didn't discover it, but how did you come across it, and what is it?
Well, first of all, a little background. I was a geneticist first, and then I went on to medical school, and I have a regenerative and aesthetic practice in San Francisco and LA.
Okay. All that's impressive, but
not that impressive. Not when you're at the conference here. Everyone's way smarter than me. But
there's some impressive people here today. Yes.
I read Kuru, who discovered the Klotho gene / protein / hormone.
This is this
confusing.
Japanese doctor that stumbled upon it. He was doing some research, and he really said it was kind of a eureka moment, like, oh, what's this?
It is. A little summary here. He found a mouse model, and he was trying to actually work on hypertension, the sodium pump, and he accidentally downregulated the Klotho gene. Genes can't be shared, right?
Right.
But
downregulated means what? He turned it off?
He underproduced it, yes.
Okay, right.
The mouse did. And that mouse died at 5% of his lifespan with early atherosclerosis, pulmonary emphysema, renal disease, atrophic skin, lousy fur.
Wow.
So then
all from not producing enough of this Klotho.
Yes, that's exactly right. So then he took the same mouse model and he upregulated the Klotho gene.
Right. Added more.
And that mouse model lived 31% longer.
Wow.
But more importantly, he stayed younger longer. So it was like a Benjamin Button type of thing.
Yeah, right.
Not only does the Klotho gene, protein, and hormone act as an age suppressor, but it actually delays the aging, so you get slower onset of age-related diseases.
And I'm hearing the whole range of them: Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, dementia, loss of hair, loss of all sorts of sexual, if I hate to go there, but all sorts of crazy things that we just associate with getting older. This thing not only extends your life, you live better longer.
Exactly. Not only it actually works on a cellular level, and I'm not going to go into too much science here.
Not today. Right?
But you've all heard the term antioxidants, right?
Yeah, right.
So
everything's supposed to have an antioxidant.
Right.
If it doesn't oxidize, if it's like an apple and doesn't turn brown, then somehow that's going to fight cancer and all these other things here.
Well, an antioxidant basically blocks oxidative damage. It's 30% of the reason a cell ages or eventually dies. Mm-hmm. I like to use this analogy. Think of your cell like a china shot.
Okay.
You let a bowl in, and if you're using an antioxidant, vitamin C, either orally or topically, you rein in the bowl, but he's kicked out and he's broken some of the china already.
The bowl's still loose.
Yeah. But the damage is somewhat controlled.
Right.
Well, when you increase the Klotho gene and make the Klotho protein, that Klotho protein increases something known as superoxide dismutase, SOD, just like your front lawn.
Just what I was talking about
when you're laying sod, right? And this is beyond an antioxidant. It never lets the bowl into the china shop.
Wow.
So now, if we know oxidative damage is 30% of the reason your cell is aging, it's no surprise that in the mouse model, that mouse model lived 30% longer. and stayed younger longer.
Wow. Well, that's the holy grail. That's the fountain of youth that everybody, I'm of a certain age. I'm an aging baby boomer. I'm an old hippie here. And our goal was to live to be forever here and to stay young forever. We're the Peter Pan generation. We're never going to get old. And yet, here I am. I got a gray beard. I'm getting old, and I'm feeling it more and more as I get older here. You're telling me that some of that, maybe a lot of that, has to do the gene, the underlying cause of this is a simple protein called Klotho.
Yes, I'm going to explain this. So gene's part of your DNA. You can't transfer that.
Right.
But when the gene is upregulated or overproducing, you get the Klotho protein. Now, we can transfer the protein. I can give you protein. In our case, we have it.
Insert a new gene to do something, but you can put the protein in the gene was producing, you're saying, kind of thing?
No, it's different. The gene's in your DNA, and you can change it. That's a complicated question, but
because that's what somebody was
yes,
talking about.
you can change that
gene
with
sequencing and all this.
yeah,
stuff.
you can change it with DNA or mRNA.
Right.
But for the purpose of this conversation, we're just going to say, if you can get the protein, we can literally give you the protein, inject it, give it to you topically, give it to you orally. And you will have the results of the genetic modification without the risks of the genetic modification.
Right.
So your Klotho protein level can be monitored in your blood level, right?
Or you can stimulate it somehow. There are people with bioelectric suits and other things. We've had Howard Lee and Hart in here talking about his thing. The idea, and exercise can stimulate protein development. So there are a variety of things that you can do yourself, or you can have others do. You're talking about injecting it or applying it or stimulating something. But if I got more Klotho, chances are I'm going to feel dramatically better. I'm going to look dramatically better. I might live dramatically longer and healthier.
That's exactly right. And in this case, we're talking about the Klotho protein. So your Klotho protein is 6 times the level in your cord blood as when you're born. By the time you're halfway through your age, your Klotho level is dropped in half.
Wow.
And it continues to fall as you get older. Now, if you take 2 70-year-old men and one has a higher Klotho level, not only is he going to feel better, but his age-related diseases are delayed. So if we can maintain a higher
sitting
Klotho...
with my mouth wide open, if you can't see me, on sitting here stunned as you're just saying. So I hear what you're saying, and before we keep touting the miracle of Klotho, I kind of wonder, why has this been not a secret, but not well reported, not well discussed? I don't read about it every day in the paper. I've never heard about it before this conference here, and yet you say this has been going on for 25
years. 25 years.
Yeah, what do you think?
Kuro wrote his paper in 97. I started working on it in 98. People would avoid me at conferences.
Oh, she's that. Oh, yeah.
Don't get her started.
Oh, please.
I read the paper, and I'm like, oh, my God, this is it. The world's going to change. And then you know what happened? Nothing.
Nothing changed.
Nothing.
Exactly. There was a gentleman downstairs who was talking about, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago. His specialty is he does do genes, something with genes, gene therapy. And he ran some clinical. This is not just out of his, an anecdotal thing. I gave it some people to see what happens, or stories that people hear, like so many alternate things or new things or developing things. They start with a buzz first on the internet. Oh, I tried this, and people start talking about it. He did some clinical trials, and it was about dementia. And he said, people got their personality back. Yeah. They started remembering stuff because of the work he was doing with Klotho and adding more Klotho to these people who had already been written off as dementia patients here. That's pretty startling. And he said he wrote papers and said, and again, crickets.
Yeah, it's amazing. At UCSF, I'm up in San Francisco. Right. They've completely reversed the cognitive deficit with Alzheimer's and Parkinson's by giving a peripheral injection of the Klotho protein in the mouse model and the rhesus monkey model.
You say that so casually, and yet my late mother died with Parkinson's. And we do shows with Alzheimer's here. We have Alzheimer's Association, and everybody's saying, oh, we're a million miles away from a cure. You're saying, we're closer than you think. Yes, or at least a treatment.
It is amazing. It's a large protein. It doesn't cross the blood-brain barrier, but it works on so many different pathways. Yeah. And I don't want to put the whole audience to sleep here by talking about it, but it works on every organ system.
So that's why let's talk about skin. Skin is, I guess, the biggest organ.
Largest organ in your body.
That's what somebody told me. Or maybe I heard you say it.
We were laughing because the everyone here is speaking about different organ systems. So we had the nephrologist get up and say, it works on the kidneys. So then the cardiac surgeon got up and said, well, if you lose your kidneys, you're on dialysis.
Yes,
And
I thought that
he
was funny.
goes, if you lose your heart, you're dead. Well, I'm going to say, if you lose your skin, you just look ugly. So the skin is actually, it works on so many pathways. The amount of people that die from skin cancer and melanoma is actually quite large.
Yes, I've known several
Everyone knows
people.
it's become a multi-billion industry, but the skin has real functions. It's a barrier. It protects you by a sensory. It regulates your temperature, and it keeps your water inside.
So how did you? All right, so you found this paper, like many did downstairs.
1997.
You
Yeah.
found it amazing. You started working on this, and why skin? I didn't hear that you were whatever they call skincare doctors or something. What do they call skincare doctors?
A dermatologist.
Dermatologist.
It's a big
yeah.
word, yeah.
Always good.
It's in that commercial with Bateman and Batman. He says just one word, dermatologist.
Right.
Yeah, so I was a geneticist first. I think I said this, and I had a I have a regenerative aesthetic practice, and it's frustrating being a woman, being a doctor, all the stuff that they give you to use on your skin that does absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
And I read this thing, and I
More
started.
so than anything. I'm sorry if I go to like my wife. She goes to Mother's Market, she's always trying to search skin, skin, skin. That's her number one concern always. And I say, well, the other thing, but you don't understand. Women are judged on how they look and skin and we're old hippies, so we've all been in the sun too long and skin damage and all sorts of other things that go with this. I don't know. Skin is huge.
There's a saying in Korea, you can't truly be beautiful without beautiful skin.
Yeah.
And that's frustrating if you're not born with it.
Yeah, right.
And a lot of the products, the lasers, the med spas,
Botox.
they
everything.
take your money, and there's not necessarily showing anything.
Or nothing that lasts, like
Yeah.
Botox.
And what you really want is skin health as well. It really is important. And the whole idea is to have a 300-year-old mind. This is called biohacking with a 30-year-old body.
That's the buzzword I hear all the time, and my son-in-law and everybody watches Joe Rogan, all these people, biohacking, Robert Kennedy, all these Jr., all these people are biohacking this. I'm gonna treat my body as if it's a big computer, and I'm gonna hack into it and somehow alter the genes or alter the way it functions here.
Yeah, yeah. So what we've done is we took, I'm going to make this pretty simple, stem cells, which you guys have heard about,
Right.
Adult. And
We always make because there was such a controversy.
Yeah,
They
this
were
is
taking them from fetuses and they've been
Right.
aborted or whatever. Now that whole thing's changed, right?
And we're genetically altering them to, the term now, upregulate the Klotho gene.
Right. More of that.
And here's the exciting part. I want you guys all to visualize high school biology. You remember Petri dishes?
Yeah.
Okay, well, stem cells sit in a Petri dish, and we feed them an auger because they're alive, and they excrete a fluid. That fluid's called cell conditioned medium. But when you upregulate the Klotho gene in the stem cell, you get the Klotho protein. Remember, we talked about that in the
Right.
cell conditioned medium. And that makes up 25% of our face serum.
So it pees this out, sort of?
It does it, pees it out is the easiest way to think of it.
Okay, now I got this fluid.
Yeah.
But they were saying downstairs this fluid doesn't last very long. It doesn't, the half-life, the shelf life of this stuff doesn't.
That's the protein, but the protein doesn't start to denature until it's sometimes exposed. So it stays in the cell conditioned medium. That makes up our face serum. We've done 3 cellular studies, 3 clinical studies, and I'm just going to touch on some of the most important findings.
Please, yeah.
On a cellular study, it turns out it's reducing DNA strand damage by 40%.
Wow.
Now, this is amazing. We can never say it's tumor suppressive, but the reason you get tumors is you have DNA strand damage.
Yeah.
So not
And
only
downstairs they were talking about tumor suppression, how this Klotho can kill cancer cells or suppress the growth of them, other sorts of things. They're talking about a whole variety of cancers downstairs.
Exactly. So what it's doing is it's prolonging cellular life in your skin in this case. And then when your cells are replicating, they're replicating more accurately. Therefore, you reduce your photo damage. So our 3rd clinical study was we'll do our second one first. The second study was double-blinded, done by Pearl Grimes in Beverly Hills, actually very close to here. 16 patients used the face serum morning and night. That's it. They were monitored with a Visioscan and a Meximeter. 38%.
Does that somehow, I don't know what those are, someone looks at your face, measures your face or something?
Yes, it makes it objective.
Okay.
Okay. So 38% reduction in photo damage, 31% reduction in rhytids, 11% reduction in erythema or redness. So then this was double blinded and we did biopsies, and this came out in the Journal of Dermatologic Drugs just this week. And then we went on to our third clinical study, which we're now getting ready to submit. And after using the face, the eye, and the night for 4 months, we had a 50% reduction in photo damage. Now, that's the old hippie skin, as you would call it.
Yeah, right.
You know, that's what you have
Out
to
in the
do.
sun, we're in California at the sun and fun and the beach, and what damage did we do to our skin through all that?
Exactly. So rather than going through, I mean, the results are amazing. They look like they've had a laser resurfacing, and this is a topical agent. And the price point's reasonable. So it
I was
is.
going to say, is it millions of dollars or
No,
something?
it's. I think the retail on the face serum is $250. It's meant to actually make a difference, and more importantly, before I go on to anything else, something happens as you get older. Your skin starts to thin. Remember when you used to see your grandma?
boy.
She had bruising on her arms and things like that.
I cut. You just scratched me and I cut.
Yeah, well, this reverses the atrophy. So at 4 months, we had a 10% reversal of skin atrophy.
All right. Startling stuff. Why isn't this on the front page of wherever the front page is anymore? I used to say the LA Times, the Orange County Register. I don't know. Wherever. Why isn't Joe Rogan talking about this? Why isn't Robert F. Kennedy ordering new studies to make America healthy again? Why aren't we? I don't know. We've got so much interest right now. And why isn't Mother's Market plastering this in billboards everywhere here? Why is this still, again, I'm not saying crickets because you're selling this stuff and people are doing it, but I don't hear it in the public consciousness the way I would think with those kinds of startling results.
It's a complicated, very high science heavy subject, but I can tell you what, in the last 2 years, another 1,500 scientific papers came out on this.
Wow.
We have done 3 clinical studies that have been published just in the last 2 years and 3 cellular studies. So, and the fact that we're having a conference dedicated to this doesn't happen.
A big place like UCI, yeah, exactly. So maybe it's the moment starting to happen.
Yeah, it is starting to happen. Why it took 25 years, I have often asked this. We are so lucky that Guru is actually at this conference with us. He's a god to most of us.
Some people are saying, like,
Nobel Peace Prize. Yeah,
come on,
absolutely. I would back that.
All right, so the company that you found, when did you found this company? How long have you been doing this?
We started research 25 years ago, but we actually incorporated in 2018.
And where do people find it? Is it still a privately held company? And
yes, it's still privately held. You can get the product at your doctor's office, or you can go to klothoskin.com. We have a list of providers, or you can buy it directly from the site.
Because there's various levels. If I got this right, there's some that I can just buy over the counter. There's some I got to go through a doctor to get.
Yes, so we have only 3 products because you don't need a complicated life.
Okay.
The face serum, the eye serum, and the night cream. Both the face and eye last 3 months. The night lasts 6 months. But then we have a microneedling solution that your doctor can buy.
Microneedling, yeah. So somebody's got to administer that for you.
Yes, and that's 50% cell condition medium. So the results are even amazing. And you can buy it directly from klothoskin.com.
Klotho, Klotho, skin.com. Well, I think it's startling what I'm hearing. I don't say that word lightly. It's startling what I'm hearing. And I'm even more stunned that this is still kind of within a certain community of researchers and doctors and some entrepreneurs now, and a number of colleges and stuff been working on this and studying it. There were several downstairs, somebody from the University of Alabama, Birmingham, I think, somebody from someplace in, I forgot what, Spain or something, Barcelona, University of Barcelona. This is being studied. This has been studied. This isn't just anecdotal evidence, again, which the internet's filled with. Oh, try this. It worked great for me. But there's no science there. There's nothing, no studies behind it. It still may work, but there's nothing studied with it. This is serious stuff, been going on for a seriously long time with some incredibly serious results across a wide variety, a whole spectrum. As you said, every organ in the body seems to benefit from the addition of Klotho. Is there a downside? They were saying sort of a U curve or
There
something?
is a U-shaped curve.
You can get too much or too little. It's the Goldilocks syndrome here?
There is I'm going to give you for 3 things. How to raise your own Klotho level. Let's do this.
Let's start with that. That'd be great.
Intermittent fasting.
Really? I have a doctor who comes in, who's an Alzheimer's specialist, and he always believes in that.
Exercise.
Clearly.
Strength training actually decreases your Klotho level and it goes higher within 24 hours. A cardiovascular immediately increases it.
Mm-hmm.
And decrease your stress level. Good luck with that. But this is
Okay.
interesting.
Oh, that's so simple. Yeah.
They did a study of 2 groups of moms, one with kids on the spectrum, and that Klotho level was non-existent because of the stress they're under. So there is something to be said for meditation and all the things you've heard
Yeah,
about.
yoga and other sorts of things.
And
Anything to
then,
reduce stress.
in addition, what your mother told you, don't smoke, don't drink too much, and get plenty of sleep. It actually changes your Klotho level.
Somebody else was talking about phosphates. I never hear about phosphates. Our whole modern American diet, fast food,
Exactly.
Coke, pizza, and everything is all filled with phosphates, and phosphates somehow kill it or flush it or get rid of it. Do not help your Klotho levels.
Yeah, stay away from processed foods.
Okay, well, that's the things you should stay away from. The things you should gravitate towards are things like yours. One more time, how do they reach your stuff here? How do they find? Must be here in Orange County? Some places? Can we find it anywhere?
So we're based out of San Francisco. We're close. Again, the website is www.klothoskin.com. Klotho is KLOTHOSKIN.com. And you can always reach out to us too. It'll eventually get to me at info@klothoskin.com. If you have any further questions, I'll do my best to answer them.
They should, listening to this, because they're not going to believe what I've said. They're going to go, oh, come on, really? This can't be that big. I'm telling you, what I heard at this conference, we were it's in our building here, we were downstairs all yesterday. I was just blown away. I said, we got to bring some of you up here and talk about this. So I appreciate you joining us here today. Dr. Gail Humble, who humbly has been working in this field for 20-some years. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Well, there you have it. A startling story. Some incredible research coming out of the University of California, Irvine's Beall Applied Innovation Center this week as they hold the first Klotho Conference. Go look that one up. Klotho, this protein that seems to be the fountain of youth, right here in Orange County's only community radio station.